Shalom, friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Resub, the World of Warcraft podcast for casual players. This is episode 4. Hi, thanks for joining us. And I've been keeping track of the metrics of our show. By the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but episode 1 had a handful of downloads, episode 2 had a handful of downloads, and as of right now, and the date is October, what is it, 5th? 4th. Does time matter?
I'm like, what? It's
Time
hard
doesn't
more.
matter anymore. It's October the 4th, 2020. As of today, our third episode officially has 30 downloads. So we are
Nice.
no big deal, just touching dozens of people's lives, hopefully making you feel. But seriously, thank you for listening. If you are, we really appreciate it. This is kind of cool thing for us. This is really just a little bit peek behind the curtain. This is just more of kind of a fun thing for us to be doing. We're talking about a game that we play and love, and the fact that people are enjoying the show, it seems, and listening, that's really awesome, and it means a lot to us. So with that said, we do have an email set up now, so please send any comments or questions to resubbedpodcast@gmail.com. So that's resubbedpodcast@gmail.com. Please send, because I really want to set up a section for reading viewer, listeners' mails and what
Questions
have you.
and
That'd be awesome. And also, it'd feel like we're just not talking to the void, and we're actually having an audience out there. So please do. I promise I tend to respond to most things. But yeah, let's get this ball rolling. So once again, thank you again for joining us. This is episode 4. My name is Raymond. Joining me as always is my co-host Michelle. She, if you're watching the video version, has the horns. Say hello, Michelle. How are we doing this week?
hello. Well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good answer.
I am doing well. Yeah.
And yeah, and you'll see or hear a third voice today. That's a character, our buddy Hedge. Hedge, what's up, man? How's your week been?
Crazy.
Has it been? What's crazy about it?
Crazy.
It's been a crazy
Nothing.
week in
Just kidding.
general. Like if you
It's been
Just
crazy
sitting at
leveling.
home.
crazy
Yeah.
leveling. Yeah, the world's crazy right now. We don't talk about that just yet, but it's what a week. So, anyways,
Oh, that, yeah.
yeah, no, there's a whole lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And it's funny is that when you say that, it could mean like several equally horrifying things at the same time.
Yeah.
It's all of it's applicable. But right now we're here to talk about Shadow. So, I'm glad that we have this game to get away from, and I'm glad that we didn't just get devastating news that would make us feel really bummed out about this game. Like everything's fine, everything's running ahead of schedule. Oh wait, if you haven't heard, that's not true. Actually, it's not as bad as you think, but Shadowlands has been delayed, guys. It's as of what we know right now, they released this happened, I think,
This happened
on the
Burning
first, right?
Crusade. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
This
sorry.
also
Oh, not
happened
in
before,
history.
so this is
The
in
announcement was
history,
made, I
yes.
believe. The announcement, I believe, was made either earlier this week. It was on
A
a
couple
Monday or
days ago.
Tuesday. It was specifically, and this is part of my discussion I want to bring up too. It was specifically on the first day of Q4, and that plays into this that decision. But it was on the first day of Q4. Blizzard announced that Shadowlands would not be ready. Originally slated to come out on October the 27th, or I'm sorry, October 26th here, 27th, depending on your time zone of October. I just said that. That was at the end of this month. Guys, it's already October. That just hit me
That's
too.
not,
Insane.
yeah.
We've been indoors for 7 months now.
It's still February to me.
Yeah, this is it's
Or
perpetually March.
Whenever this should happen.
This is the longest March on record. But with that said, it's already October. It was supposed to come out at the end of this month. It has now been delayed to quote later this year. So it looks like they're projecting obviously later this year. The absolute latest would be December 31st at 11:59 p.m. So we're looking at probably a release. I mean, if we had a guess, we'll play the wild speculation guessing game a little bit later. But I'm thinking it's going to be in December myself. That's just my feeling. It just seems to make more sense that way. But as of right now, we do not have any new well, that's not true. We don't have the expansion coming out content until later than we expected. But now we do have also a definite date for the pre-patch. So it's not going to be this Tuesday, which is October 6th, which I think was a pretty popular date for most people to guess, but it's actually going to be coming out October the 13th. So it's going to be the following Tuesday. So as of this recording, we have another 9 or so days of World of Warcraft as we know it, before the level squish, before the pre-patch features are added, which we talked about. And after that, then we have an indefinite wait of time till whenever Shadowlands actually releases. So I am opening up the floor, guys. Let's talk about this. What was your feelings? Actually, it was Michelle, it was you that pointed out this news to me on that day. And you're like, hey, did you hear about Shadowlands?
Yeah, you were like, what?
Did I hear about
Yeah.
Shadowlands? Yeah, it's a great expansion. Sounds exciting. What about it? I'm looking forward to it. But
Like-
you're the one that tipped me off to this, that you had heard that there's a delay. So tell me, let the floor, go ahead. Go nuts.
Well, the funny thing, it was actually a friend of mine who's playing Classic right now, and he is not playing retail.
Oh,
So he messaged me on Blizzard and said, so Shadowlands Delay, and I said, what? Like I literally was like, what? You know? And that's when I messaged you, but I did look it up that day, and I do remember because they mentioned that the Burning Crusade was also delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2006, and it wasn't until 2000, like early 2007, when it came out.
wow.
So this is
I don't
not
remember that.
unlike
Yeah.
them. This
Correct.
has
Yeah.
happened before. But again, like you said, it's a good thing because they were getting criticism, you know, with the beta testers. I think they were talking about more of the end game pieces
Right.
and the covenant. So the covenants and being able to change. I don't think people were happy about that. I think you
Right.
mentioned it before, how you had to pick one covenant, and then if you were to switch, you'd have to do something drastic, right?
Correct. So as it stands right now, it's like it's easy to level up and get involved with the covenant that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you were to switch covenants somewhere through, like maybe you just want to try out a different covenant, you would lose all your standing, I believe, with your current covenant that you were first aligned with, and then you would have to grind up. But it's like you have to grind up the other covenant, but you're almost starting at a deficit, like where you grind.
Right.
Yeah, you're not starting at the same spot as you were if you were just to have approached them normally. It's like, I think lore wise, it's like, well, by joining this one covenant, you've alienated yourselves from the other. So now you really
that
have
makes
to work
sense.
harder, which is.
It's kind of like the Booty Bay and remember how you kind of had to, if you were to do more with Booty Bay Pirates or whatever it was, remember that? Then you would be hated with like the ad.
Right.
I forget what the other one was, but.
And then there's that one.
Pick.
There's that achievement. You're called the Insane when you can raise your rep with Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's super hard to do. Because the only way to do that is just to kill a
ton.
ton.
The good guys, right?
Yeah, a ton of Booty Bay.
So, I think a lot of beta testers weren't happy about that.
Right. Makes sense.
So Hedge? They might make some changes, right?
Hedge, when did you? Yeah, I'm assuming so. But Hedge, when did you hear about the news, and what's your reaction?
2 days ago. I was. I mean, we're all filthy casuals here, but
yep.
So none of us were like, the game's broken, like it needs work. I don't think. I mean, I wasn't thinking that. I've heard things from like Asmongold and Preach. Just like reviewing all the things that are broken with it. Like a lot of items are still placeholder in the beta testing.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Right.
I think the only negative is like if you, like as players, if you had set aside time like from work or whatever for that week or 2 week span when it first comes out to play it.
That is definitely something that I've seen brought up, here and there as far as like some forum posts and stuff is like, yeah.
I think that's fairly minor though. I'd rather.
Are you guys gonna take days off? Because I was totally planning on like
kind of
vacation time just for the first 2 days, just so I could be home and play.
Yeah.
I'm technically, we work from home,
yeah.
right?
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I didn't even want to like, hey, I'm not even gonna try to pretend to work.
But I might not take because I don't really need to. So and I probably will not sleep, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it. Generally, yeah, correct. And this is actually something I wanted to talk to you guys about too. Is like what you guys said was perfect. It's like they should take time. It sounded like if they were to have released the game when they had intended on October the 27th, that it would have been probably a hot mess. There would probably been a ton of fixes and things that are broken, things that and it would have felt super rushed. I, for one, I feel fine about it. it's a delay. If they need to fix something, that's better. Look, and this is something I've learned in life as we've gotten older. It's better to have something later that's ready to go than it is to have something early and broken. And that goes with quite literally
Everything.
Everything in life is like, let me put on my old man hat. Right, there's an old man Raymond rants section.
You should get an actual old man hat that looks like
like
it's made out of like wool, like a Civil War hat or something.
I gotta name this the ranting. Raymond's ranting
glasses.
Section. Raymond's.
Because when you're younger, right? It's all about now. When you're younger, you just want it now.
Right.
You have no patience. This is like instant gratification. That's what you want.
Exactly, and it's totally worth discussing now. Is like everywhere I've seen the reaction to this delay has been overwhelmingly supportive and positive to that fact. And nearly, and in fact, I can't even think of one single. Usually, you see a ton of. I mean, guys, we've been living on the internet since we were in our teens, right? We know how these things work. A piece of negative news drops there, and then everybody hones in and finds the worst aspects of it, blows it up, and then they echo chamber each other, and then all of a sudden, whatever change or development is suddenly worse than Nazis. Like it always is. It's just and it goes to those literal lengths too. So the fact that I was actually kind of surprised that I've seen nothing but like overwhelming support. We're like, yeah, good. I'm glad they're delaying it. It's like from all reports sound like, and even people who don't necessarily follow the beta testers or follow the latest news, not even the hard, like the most, it seems to me like the majority of people who do comment on the message boards are just people who play fairly regularly. Maybe they're just kind of like us, like for the most part, just filthy casuals, just kind of playing the game at their own pace. But they're all saying the same thing, which is just like, yeah, no, that's cool. Take your time with the game, polish it up as necessary, and we'll just wait for it. And I wanted to run this by you guys. Do you think that the reason for that general mentality and not this whole, because, and I'm not to typecast people who play Fortnite, but like the typical Fortnite crowd is on the younger side. If Fortnite,
I play Fortnite.
Yeah, well, okay, well then you could tell me, like, if since you're closer to the audience than I am, because I don't play Fortnite at all. Like, if there was a big expansion announced for the game and then it got pushed back like this does to an unfortunate, would the reaction be the same?
Oh no.
You don't think so, right?
I don't think so. Right. I think so that type of player is the type of player I was back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So they're, they're very angry,
they're passionate.
They're passionate. When you say that they're coming out with something, they expect it then. And so if it doesn't happen, then they're very upset and will go on a rant. Like you said, they'll go on a rant and lots of F-bombs. Like it's a very toxic. No, it really is. It's like
8-year-olds.
All
lots
those
of
games
F-bombs and racist comments somehow.
Yeah, right. Those games that I used to play, like Counter-Strike and stuff like that, I hear that it's so toxic now, worse than it was before. I used to get a lot of that for being a female gamer back in the day, but I hear, I don't play it anymore. People are asking me to come back, but I hear that it's super even worse than before.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily surprised to a certain degree, because
it would be better.
You know what? And it's like
you would think, right?
There's a lot I think wrapped up in this topic, I think, because you're having to deal with youth and age, right? And just the general getting mature as you get older, priorities changing as you get older. So there's that topic to it. There's also, right, because there's also the age of the game, and it kind of makes you, it's really fascinating to me that Counter-Strike has been around forever. Counter-Strike is older than WoW for sure, right?
Yes.
And then we play WoW, and we're considered old-fashioned to certain segments of our gaming peers, right? Counter-Strike is even older. It's still a 100% completely viable like game. It's super popular, maybe more so than ever. And you can't get that popular. It's not just a bunch of old dudes playing Counter-Strike. No. It can't be, right? And not for those numbers. So it's getting more, it maybe has maintained a steady stream of a certain gamer that kind of comes through and refreshes when when the old ones die off.
I think it definitely has.
When we
like
ride
my,
off to the sunset.
My wife's nephew. I guess that would be my nephew too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So my nephew, he plays Counter-Strike and he's 17, but he's been playing it since he was like 14.
Right.
And it's been around since what, like 2000?
Right.
2001
I would
maybe?
venture to guess, like, and like if we're talking about like the overboard crazy comments and just the vitriol that always comes with online stuff, right? And I think we should talk about it too to a certain degree. It's like a lot of that comes with being young, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're saying like, oh, it's worse now. It's worse because we now have
Maybe we're just older.
adult context. It
Yeah.
was because if we really want to be brutally honest, it was exactly the same when we were that age and we were saying awful things to each
This is
other.
right.
Right?
You're right.
Yeah.
But back then we were immune to it because that was part of our language, that aggressive, aggressive,
And talking
offensive
back.
as like now times have changed, right? Now we're adults. We don't want our young children talking that way. So to us, when we hear like 17-year-olds and kids like calling each other all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah.
And describing all sorts of terrible things they would do to each other's mothers. Like it's like, oh my, right? But come on, Michelle. I was in high school and we were going around with so many "your mama's so blank" jokes all day, dude. We grew up on that. Hedge. We grew up on that kind of humor and that stuff. So
but see, that was but you guys, that was different, right? Because I'm a girl.
Yes.
So I was always getting. It wasn't always the "your mama." It was like, oh, go in the
you
know,
and personally you're
exactly
a horrible person for having
I know, like
X
there's
chromosomes.
like, oh, you're
how dare you?
It's always like you're cheating because you're a girl, you can't be that good.
Right.
Or go to the kitchen, go back to the kitchen and make me a
Always
sandwich.
the kitchen.
And it's like, seriously, like, yeah, that's original.
Yeah,
like, that's how I would tell him is like, yeah, that's original.
Dude,
good one.
I'll throw down right now. I'm badass in the kitchen. I trust only myself in the kitchen.
Yeah, a good thing.
It has nothing to do with gender or anything.
I know.
I will whoop anybody's ass in the kitchen. You know how good of a cook I am? Welcome to Raymond is a Good Ass Cook podcast, where we talk about how good.
And that's why it's just funny is that back in the day, they thought that was a, ooh, I got you, like, like I'm making fun of you because you're a girl, and you can make food.
You can't ever change. You know why they do that? Is because you can't change the fact that you're a girl. Not that you would want to, but like you can't change it that you're a girl. So it's like I win because there's nothing you can do about existing. What a stupid way to win. What a dumbass like childish way. Anyways, getting back to the topic at hand. Do you think that the lack of like, oh my God, the world's falling apart and everything sucks is the Shadowlands is delayed and Blizzard, is the worst company in the world. Do you think a lot of that has gone away simply because the WoW player base is older?
I think that would make sense.
Probably.
Like not, I would say, because to me, I don't see the kids. I mean, not to say that there aren't kids that come out and play this game, because there has to be, right?
They're like over 28.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say. It's like I think most of us who do still play this game are, on average, probably older. So we started playing this game. I started playing this game when I was in my early 20s. I was in college. And then I've been playing it. Now I'm 38, right? So I imagine there's a lot of us that are in this boat that are just, I blinked and all of a sudden I'm 38. And then, anyways, it's like we're still playing this game, but then, like, again, we just grew up with it. We got a little bit older. So to us, like, a delay at my age is not a big deal. Do you guys remember like a delay? Do you guys remember like your favorite show having to have a rerun weekend or something like that? Like,
and you're like, what?
God dang it!
Yeah.
Time used to just move so much slower. Like it's crazy.
Now
I turned 30 last week, and I'm just like,
oh God.
My kids turned 10 this year. I'm like, it's so weird. It's just
and in all honesty, it doesn't matter what age. You can't really gatekeep it, because it's like people find themselves like, holy crap, I'm 50. You know what I mean? They just woke up, because that's the thing.
Hey, you guys are like making me upset right now.
Time is linear, Michelle. But
you know what? I am young at heart.
Here's the thing, and I mean, and maybe this is what it is. Is like I'm fine with it. Like I don't feel like I'm running. Wait till you're
42.
Yeah, No, I'm not gonna
Wait
wait
till
for
you're
anything.
my age.
I'm not gonna wait for.
You're not even 40 yet. You're not
I'm
even
still.
40
I'm a
yet.
sprint.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm such a spring chicken. My.
Wait, because once 40 hits, like when I turned 40, I noticed different. Like your body just tells you it's
Well,
not
no.
happening anymore.
I've been having
So,
literal like. So I've been staying up later than I should have been because I'm leveling up my hunter. By the way,
Yeah.
he's at 96, I think, right now. So I think last week when we were talking, he was only at barely 60, if I remember. So I've been putting in some time. Oh, it hurts the next morning. I can't concentrate. I can't like put sentences together in my head. I can't like stay on task. I'm like
cranky.
I have no and plus I'm also I have to wake up with the baby too sometimes.
There's
He
a
gets up.
baby there.
Yeah.
Same with me. I'm just like, oh no, like I can't just
You're
go back
like,
to
can you
sleep
just go
at
back
3
to
in the
sleep?
So
afternoon.
it's like I'm getting to bed at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I maybe get 45 minutes of deep sleep until I'm kicked hard in the face or in the ribs.
Ooh,
by
that's
a baby
fun.
who's
Poked
hungry.
in the eye.
Right. Okay, just so you know, yeah, our baby like sleeps between us in the bed for now.
You're
Just 'cause
co-sleeping.
it's easier because it's easier to have the bottle ready and boom.
Dude, Eris
Right.
is 4 and he still sleeps with us. So
Yeah, man. It's just and it's COVID time. Like freaking everything's weird. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's all weird. The point I'm trying to make is I think now a delay is not a big deal, right? Like
Yeah.
it just isn't. And I feel like in my life I had so many things to just worry about constantly on a constant basis that when news actually hits, when I hear about something, I understand now what it means to be behind on music. Like and I've understood this probably for the last 10 years, but I when I was growing up, music, I've always loved listening to music. I always liked to be up on things, and it always like made me think somebody was lame if they didn't know what like this new song that came out that was a banger was. Like, well, you're lame. You're like you're behind the times. And I always thought to myself, I will never be that way. I'm always going to be cool and be hip and like and you know and tight and whatever lingo it was. But yeah, to this day, I could care less about what new music comes out. And I like I'll like things and I'll discover things when I discover them, and in my own time. But I don't want to be rushed anymore, and I don't want to be told that I'm like behind the times just because I don't like it when everybody else likes something too, right? Because that's kind of lame. But again, yeah, to me, going back to this actual delay, here's the part of me is thinking I like it because they need to fix whatever's broken, right? Obviously, things aren't coming together. Maybe it's way too complex. Systems are going. What they mentioned specifically was Endgame, and the covenants, right? So Endgame, I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking, this is wild speculation. Actually, all of this is going to be wild speculation. What we think is that they probably found that maybe some abilities or some class ability combinations with the covenants were too OP and other ones were just like too weak, right? And it did exactly what they were trying to not happen, which is they don't want to make one class or one spec or one anything too effective.
Dominant, yeah.
Yes, because that makes everybody else's
takes like the choice available, or it removes the choice from it. It's like
exactly
because then everyone will want to pick.
Why would you not just pick the strongest one?
Why would you not want to get this is objectively the best? And I think that's something that's been messing up the game. Actually, probably since the very beginning of any game that like people can min max things. I think that does. I don't know. The flavor of the game always gets diluted because of that. When people are just only concerned by the pure numbers and like, if I can kill this thing faster than everybody else, I win. That's the game. And by making that the focus for everybody, that becomes the issue. So, and now that's what's going to happen here because your hardcore people are always going to find out the best packs, the best. Those hardcore people are going to find the best packs, I tell you. And there are some good ones out there. But they're going to find the best spec and covenant combo right away. And they're going to put it out there to say, like, look, unless you're this, we don't need you in our raiding guild unless you're this. And that's not how you should play this specific game. So if this leads to a more, I don't want to say homogenous, but if this leads to that being reduced, right? The probability of that happening and all this extra time, and it makes for just a more fun game play at the very end of things, that's, it's worth the time. Plus, it goes back to general idea, Hedge. Like, let's talk about how many games have you are an avid gamer? How many times have you played games that were broken? Hedge. Oh, he walked away. That was the best. That was the
My
best.
foot fell asleep.
That was
Trying to shake it out. I'm sitting. Trying to sneakily just go and shake my foot. I
was just gonna ask you, like, how many experiences have you had with games that were broken or not polished?
It's been I think it's become a very it's too common in the last
can you
few
speak
years.
Louder to your mic? I think it's There you go.
Okay. I think it's been just way too common in the last few years for games to be, it's like the normal thing for a game to be released when it's not even done.
Mm-hmm.
And then for them to just release the rest of the game as like DLC. And I think it's bullshit. Like,
it is bullshit. I will agree with that.
And then having to pay extra for DLCs.
Right. I mean, and some DLCs are, I don't think like all DLCs are bad. Like the first DLC I ever got was for the Elder Scrolls 4 for Oblivion. And the DLCs were, I didn't mind paying extra for it because it was like a miniature version of the main game in itself. I'll pay $15 for it, like, you know, whatever.
There used to be a term, I mean, not WoW related, called the expansion, right?
Right.
World of
and it was optional. Like, it's not like
Warcraft,
okay, well, you need this expansion to
right. There was
play
Warcraft 3, and then there was the expansion of
Frozen
Warcraft
Throne.
3, the Frozen Throne, and it added whole new. So that's, and then we just renamed that now DLC. That's essentially. But you're right. The DLC,
it was optional.
Moniker now means like, okay, does that mean
here's the rest of the game?
Is it Is it the rest of the game, which should have been implemented the first time, or is it like true legit content? Like the best DLC I've ever bought, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Holy crap!
Oh, is that good? Because we were thinking about buying it last night.
Is that good? Let me tell you.
Robert was like, "Is this worth $41.99?"
The whole thing? It's the whole thing, though, right?
I think it's the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes, if it's the whole. Have you
for Switch?
Have you never? Oh, for Switch. Oh, see, you keep throwing all these variables at me, so I keep changing my tone of voice. Oh.
Well, one of these, I'm gonna buy a PS something whenever eventually. I know, or the Xbox.
We should have a talk about it. We should have another podcast about different video game stuff.
Yeah, for all. Anyways, okay.
The TLDR for that is yes. It's any amount of money that The Witcher 3 is and its DLC is worth it.
It looks good. Okay.
It's not. It's just probably, and I'm not even exaggerating, probably one of the best pure gaming experiences in the last couple of years. Like just end to end. Blood and Wine is like an entire game all unto itself. Like it could be played completely separately from The Witcher, and you would easily spend $30 on that, and it would be totally worth it. Like it's such an awesome. I can't believe you haven't played. Have you watched the Netflix show?
Yeah, I like it.
Yes, toss a coin. Have you?
So Robert, actually, I tried to watch it. I couldn't for some reason, and I like that stuff. You know that, right?
What do you mean you couldn't?
I don't know why.
Explain yourself.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't watch TV anymore. I just can't get into anything really.
I will tell you to your face, to your virtual face, that if you started playing The Witcher and then you go back to play and watch the thing, you're gonna freaking love it, because Henry.
So
Cavill,
Robert and I had. No, I know, because I love him. So Robert and I had a discussion, and he saw a. Oh yeah. Did you watch Enola Holmes?
No, I've been meaning to. It looks like something I could watch with Roland.
It's good.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. We watch with theirs. Okay. So Robert saw a screenshot of the character in the game, of his character in the bathtub. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So Robert saw this like yesterday, 2 days ago. He goes, "Oh, so this is actually in the game, because Henry Cavill is actually in the show in the bathtub, burying his." And so Robert was like, "Oh, of course I'm gonna have a good looking, right?"
Yeah.
But then he's like, "Oh, it's in the game," and I'm like, "Well, obviously it's the game."
It is like almost 100%.
Like the game.
I need to do a Witcher, because I love that show. So
I'm gonna
perfectly too.
Oh God, no, everything.
Like-
I rewatched it because quarantine, right? Like I've been rewatching a whole bunch
How
of
many
stuff.
seasons are there?
It's just one season right now, but then the second one is
Okay.
coming up. It would have been out sooner, but freaking COVID delayed production on all our favorite stuff. Oh, by the way, I know this is all segueing to whatever. New season of Mandalorian coming out.
But did
Also
you
at the
hear
end of this.
about that? The drama?
Oh, there's
This is
drama?
another podcast.
Oh
Drama.
man, we got podcasts on
Yep, there's
podcasts.
drama. The main star, not the child. Yeah, I said it.
Oh
There's
wow,
like
yeah.
another-
Well, I don't know. That surprised me. I thought the child for sure looked like a prima donna, like just too.
I know, right? No,
all-
there was
all
like
smug.
there's like someone's asking for more money, and then
Ah.
you find out that this person they used a body double more than they used the person, and
Huh.
That is
because you know they're
controversy.
yeah, so
Oh,
whole
I don't
other.
know.
Mhm.
Well, that's not fun. Anyways, Witcher is dope. Okay, if you start playing The Witcher, which I highly, not that this is a Witcher podcast, my God, no, but if you do start playing it, it'll lead you to watching the show. You're gonna love the show, and it's just
Stay
such
tuned.
a
We'll have a gaming podcast.
such a good, yeah. I think that's actually in the works, but that's gonna be coming down. We should play a game. We should have a podcast of like, sell me on this game that I haven't played that you have,
Mhm.
right? Like, why is this game good? Anywho, why are we talking about Witcher DLC?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shadowlands not being polished. So let's talk about this too. A lot of people are saying no, a lot of people are talking about how, hey, this feels like a great step. People are basically looking at Blizzard like, oh, thank you for being like
Back to
old
the old
Blizzard,
days.
you know what I mean, like not releasing products until they're done, and yeah, that's a step in the right direction. Here's the thing though, and we have to keep it real. Blizzard is a huge corporation, right?
Mhm.
They are an international billion-dollar company. They have a ton of staff. They've got, but most importantly, they have shareholders to make happy, and that is something that we have to talk about as far as gaming as a whole. I don't think this is indicative at all of like, oh, Blizzard's going back to finishing games and being like old Blizzard. This is a corporation making a decision that is long term going to be good for their financial establishment, right? Because WoW is a product for sure, right? And any changes to the product will either, hopefully, from their perspective, get more people to buy into the product and thus generate more money. That's the whole point of this. So they wouldn't make a step like this if it was like somebody, maybe the lead of the development is like, I'm just not feeling comfortable with the state of the game. I think it could use a few more months of polish myself because there's a few tweaks, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see them stopping for them to make a few tweaks. I think this is indicative, like maybe the end game was a lot more of a mess than like they're letting on.
They knew they would lose money at some point.
Basically, like it was
not like they did that out of goodwill.
Yes, this isn't done out of goodwill.
Conscious.
And I don't mean to like crap on the company, but like let's be honest though.
Yeah, it's a company. They have
It's
to
a
make
company.
money. That's
It's a
their number one.
corporation. Their number one thing is to make. So they wouldn't delay. So this is why I brought up earlier. They made this announcement at the beginning of Q4. So it's like you don't want to do this at the beginning of Q3 because strategically, if you let's talk about the metagame here. The world. Let's talk about the world of Warcraft.
Yeah.
The world in which it exists to make money. You don't want to put bad news out for your company before the earnings are all in because you want to end the quarter on a high note, right?
Mhm.
Like, hey, look, our shares closed at this, blah, 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 and now we start all over. You always want the bad news at the very start of things because you're going to take the hit early on and then hopefully over the course of the quarter, maybe rebuild
from it.
Yeah, and pivot or do something from it. That's strategy. It's all business strategy. And so if I had a guess that they knew ahead of time, they probably knew well ahead of time that this was not in a state to be fixed. Like they might have announced the game. I don't think they knew. I don't think they expected it to have to go. Let me backtrack a little bit. I don't think that they announced the original October 26th date without the intention of actually releasing it on the 26th. I think they did intend that for it to happen. But they also mentioned in the letter without. I don't know why people don't mention like COVID. It's like, why is it a
Yeah, it's like
trigger
a
word or
huge
something
deal
like?
that's
It's
going
like,
on.
why is
with
nobody
people.
saying that? They just say, well, everybody has to work from home. Yeah, they have to work from
No
home
shit.
because of COVID. Like, just say
Right.
it. It's
I thought
fine.
they did say it.
No, they didn't say it out loud. And companies have been doing this in a lot of their press releases recently, like due to the ongoing situation or due to the current situation. But I was like, just it's a global pandemic. Let's call it for what it is. Due to this weird ass once in a lifetime thing, here's why we have to make these decisions. Like, I hate that it's so corporate-y and like, you know what I mean? It's just like, speak plainly. Take an opportunity to just speak. Like,
because then it makes you think like, oh, like what else is going on?
I hate the Tefloning of stuff, or not the Tefloning, the nerfing, the literal like just the softball pitches of every company, everything that they can't take a stance one way or the other without being somewhat controversial and yada yada yada. That's another podcast. So, just in case you've been keeping track, we've come up with 10 separate podcasts that are going to spin off from this one. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, I think it's misplaced to say that Blizzard's going back to being like old Blizzard and really polished, because I think there's going to be some issues. Well, let's be face it. Even when it does release, there's going to be problems. There's going to be bugs.
Right.
It's a massive game with these complicated, super complicated systems that how many thousands upon thousands of man hours go into. Like, there has to be flaw. There's going to be flaws in this, regardless. But having said that, yeah, I'm happy that they're as a consumer. I'm happy that the product is getting pushed on. At this stage of my life, I don't need something right away. Honestly, the only bum for me is that we don't get to play new content.
Fine.
Right when I expected to. Oh.
Like, there's not enough things to do in World of Warcraft already.
Yeah.
I already did every single thing.
Yeah. And it's like this delay. It's like the way
but they are releasing the Exile Reach, right, on the 13th.
Oh no, and that's what we should talk about next.
Yeah, that's true.
No, there's some new stuff, and we're going to be talking about it in a moment. But I feel like my personal thoughts about this delay is just like, it's fine. I mean, I honestly, in my list of concerns, especially for this year, especially with the ongoing situation, it's on my list of concerns. It's a little bit of a bummer that I don't get to mess around in Shadowlands sooner or as soon as possible. But at least now that now at least I know that when I go into Shadowlands, it might not be a hot mess. Plus, we're also pretty casual, so we're not going to be necessarily racing to the end game ourselves. Mm-hmm. So hopefully by the time that we reach the end game, that a lot of that will be smoothed out and ironed out. Because right now, if we were to have reached the end game, then because that is the worst feeling. And that's something I need to play up too, is that when I played through BFA, the big reason why I quit the first time before the patch rounds, because I got to the end game and I was just like, this is boring. Like, the end game was dull, just collecting Azurite.
Yeah.
Collecting Azurite. Nothing about that.
Never-ending grind.
Yeah. And so it's like, if that's going to be the case, so that's such a shame to me, because like you have this beautiful new expansion, these great new lands to explore, new experiences, new mechanics in, and then you get to the end game and you're just, I'm bored, right? I'm bored waiting for the next patch to release to just, eat up that content right away. I don't want that in my game, right? I want to get to the end game and like be able to like, take my time with the end game. And I feel like Legion did that really well with
it actually ends.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I just feel like when Legion got to its like, when you got to the end game of Legion at the end of every patch, it felt more fulfilling. Like there was like, and it went longer, like it had a longer tail end. With BFA, like I felt like every single time, like I just like, I'm at the end game. I ain't got much else to do now. Like I'm just here, right? So hopefully by the time that we get to end game over in Shadowlands, it'll be an experience that's more akin to how Legion felt, at least in my opinion.
I think it's okay to be bored with the end game as long as it's like justified. Where like you were saying with Legion, it's like how it eventually like it ends. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, like there's like I don't have anything else to do in the end game, but it's because I already did it. It's not like there's stuff to do. I just don't want to do it because it's boring. It's not like I'm bored because I did it. It's bored because there's a bunch of stuff to do. It's just not fun.
Exactly.
Like there's no sense of fulfillment from it.
And I'm fighting that right now with BFA. It's just like even as a casual player, so I've actually spent a little bit less time.
To me, BFA, like when I get a character, I've been leveling all these alts, and when I get a character to like 110, that's when I usually like my Warlock is still 111, and it took like it took like 2 weeks to get to 110. Yeah, but then once it gets to 110, I'm like, I don't want to even play this right now.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm gonna go level another alt 110 and then come back and
you don't want to feel that way. That's a
yeah,
happy way to
sucks.
feel.
Yeah, it's like I paid for this shit. Like I'm still paying for this monthly.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't really play Legion, right?
No.
So I do feel that way with BFA. That have you noticed I haven't really been playing?
Yeah, it's a weekend game right now. Like, quite frankly.
Yeah,
kind of is.
and I'll every once in a while log on to level like my lock or my hunter, but like I was thinking about the achievements, like you mentioned earlier, before with getting that mount, and I thought, well, I don't want to grind to get all these coalescence and then buy this thing to then go into this thing, you know what I mean? And then try to do like a 5 mask and fail, and then grind again to buy the. It's like, no, I don't want to do that.
That's not. Yeah, so weekend game. That's not compelling.
Yeah.
It's not something I want to come back to, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of that, like also, I think it might be. It didn't say it in the post, but I want to wildly speculate that maybe they had to make some changes to the Torghast feature as well that's coming out with Shadowlands. And for you who don't know, Torghast is like basically, it's kind of like an endless runner of a dungeon where you come in and it's kind of has roguelike elements, and then things you go up the levels, the challenges change and you get different rewards for doing things. We should probably make that a feature to talk about in an upcoming, because I really want to go and deep dive into more. But that's gonna be also a big part of the end game, is just that replayable feature, right? I imagine that's probably wrapped up into that fixing and polishing at the end, because if they're going to funnel people to that feature as, hey, this is where you want to spend a lot of your time during the end game, it better be fun and repeatable, or else we get a situation like the horrific visions of Stormwind or horrific visions of Orgrimmar, where I played through it the first like 10 times, and then the harder it got, the more just annoying it got. The experience wasn't funner, and it wasn't more fun or satisfying. It just felt how it did, which was super grindy, which is not at all what I want. So hopefully that gets fixed as well. But with that said, now that we have, do you guys have any predictions of when it's actually going to drop?
I was also thinking December.
November. Maybe like late November.
You're thinking like Thanksgiving, week of Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I think it's the 26th this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict the second week of December, just because it seems like, I don't know, a fun time to put something out.
Yeah, for sure. I think right before Christmas.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Hedge first, I'm second. You're later on, closer to Christmas. Okay.
Like, cool. Merry Christmas.
Good for us. We'll see who wins. With that said, we now have an indefinite amount of time to mess around with the pre-patch. So this is what does have me really happy about why there's a delay. I get to spend a lot of time with the actual new features of this expansion, specifically with leveling characters. But what do you guys think? Now that you guys have more time to play with the pre-patch, which is going to come out on the 13th, which is in, I think 9 or 10 days from now. What are you guys going to do at that time?
Level.
Once the pre-patch hits, I'm going to try to get whatever items they're going to have that are going to be no longer obtainable after that.
Oh, right.
Right.
And
there's a couple of those, some mounts, right?
Mess around with alts. Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, dude, this is okay. I said it last week. I'm going to say it now more than ever.
Monk?
A good time. Yeah, maybe Monk. Now more than ever is a great time to resub. It absolutely is. So now you have all the features of this pre-patch that you get to play. You have a couple months to play through it and really decide, do I want to continue on with the expansion when it actually comes out? Right? Am I invested enough? Or you could say like, hey, this is not for me. I could just let it go and whatever and have my time with it.
Do you have to have BFA? Like, do you have to have purchased it in order to get that 100% XP boost?
I think so. I think the requirements of the game, basically, of all these types of MMOs, is like you have to have bought up to the latest content, right? Like in order for all the features to unlock. But you don't necessarily have to pre-buy the upcoming expansion in order to continue playing.
Right.
If that makes sense. But you do have to put in with the for the current content right now. Which, having said that, it's probably going to be on sale because a lot of people are going to be interested in wanting to come back now. So yeah, pre-patch, new characters for me. Oh, so I found out that the 3 classes that are getting really, really severely changed are
Knight,
the
priest.
Shadow Priest for sure. The not monk. What is it? Oh my gosh, I'm just brain firing right now. So Shadow Priest, Enhancement Shaman, which I used to have, and there's a third one. I think it's Balanced Druid. So those 3 things are getting completely like heavily reworked. So if you've played those characters in the past or you have them currently, yeah, those are the ones you're gonna have to relearn. I'm pretty excited because I used to have an Enhancement Shaman. Dude, Enhancement Shaman was Shaman. Enhancement Shaman.
Salmon.
Shaman. Enhancement Shaman, or now I'm tripping myself, was a spec that I used to have on my goblin. Those are super fun, but those were one of those classes that changed so much in between iterations of expansion that I just couldn't play it anymore. So, but now it's like they have bring some old stuff back, like wind totems and stuff. I know that's very vague, but I'm excited for that. Do you guys both play feral druids or you guys play balanced druids?
Feral.
I don't
I'm
mess around.
usually a guardian druid, but I'm trying to get more used to balance. But like my initial thing was like I'm gonna level as a balanced druid, but I was doing like no damage and I kept getting killed, and I was like,
well, oh gosh,
I don't know how to play as it, or it's just not for me.
Boomkins are not great.
I was like, I kept getting the feeling that like balanced druids were like,
no, I mean
high DPS, but I'm like, I suck. Like I'm not killing anything. I keep getting my ass kicked. Like
with the history of like raiding, with my history, you know, balanced druids, like I don't think we ever wanted one in our raid.
Really?
Only because when we did have one, they were not good. They weren't doing well. But that could just be the player not knowing how to play that
most definitely
class, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, even just now in BFA, like running raids and stuff, or sorry, 5-mans, balanced druids are always at the bottom.
Yeah. Really?
Always.
Are they fun to play? I don't know. I don't mess around with druids.
I just like I like their I like the aesthetic. I like
the Kulturin form is awesome with
like
that Wicker Man looking thing.
That's like a chicken.
Oh really? Oh right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gangster.
Yeah, but the Kulturins are kind of, I don't like them.
Oh.
They're ugly.
I like their body shaming, Michelle.
I'm kidding.
Boo. I like.
No, that's the last one that I need. It's the last one I need.
Oh, you know what I need right now? Hey, I need to actually run Mechagon to get to unlock the ally. So with the pre-patch, so with pre-patch, they're getting rid of all the, and that's kind of what messed me up too. They got rid of all the rep requirements for the ally races, which is great. But it also makes it not.
Would have been good to know, right?
Yeah, you need the achievements. You need to get the quest line achievements. Yeah. But it also kind of makes it pointless for me with the whole 100% rep grind right now. I'm just like, well, I don't really care. You know what I mean? It's like I don't really care to. It's great that I have a rep grind and I could get these meters up and get the meta achievement of like 40 exalted reps or 100 exalted reps or whatever it is that you get an achievement for. But honestly, unless it's like now that rep's not tied to it, I don't care so much for the rep buff that's going on right now, which is nice. I'm glad it's there. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful that it's there. So if people are close to finishing out their revered, right, on like, I don't know, the Rajani,
Waveblade and
Oldham people, or the the Waveblade and or all the kind of random second
order of embers.
Exactly. If you just want to get those bars filled, cool. That's awesome. That's great for doing. But right now, because it's not necessary, I just don't feel the need to go out and do anything with it at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless I was already close to getting exalted. But with that said, I need to run Mechagon. So let's
do it.
Let's run some Mechagon because I don't even know what to do in there, and I'd rather fail with my friends than with strangers.
I think it's annoying.
Ooh, which one do you need?
This is to unlock.
Is it the workshop?
Whatever one I have to kill the king. What's that?
Wait, I think it's
not the Motherlode.
No, Motherlode is
that's
completely
the other
different instance, right?
Yeah, I think you need the workshop. You
need
the inside of Mechagon.
Like a couple months ago, they were all the same. It was one dungeon. It was like one enormous dungeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then they split it up, right?
Like Gnomeregan.
Or something like that. And then people run it like split now, it seems. Because I see groups for it, but it's always for like...
Junkyard, which is obviously outside. And then Mechagon Workshop, which is, I think, where he's in, the king.
I need that. But I noticed too that like everybody's running the super high mythic keys. I'm like, dude, is there just nobody running this for the quest? Like, I just need the quest.
I'm really
Yeah, the
happy. Oh, go
people
ahead.
spamming it in trade chat to purchase a run.
Oh yeah, no, I
So
don't.
annoying.
It's like you're still doing that.
I'm kind of out of trade chat for various reasons. But
Yeah, really. Again, another.
yeah,
Still
another
talk about that
episode.
eventually.
We are going to. There's just so much to talk about now. Oh yeah, so speaking of
Speaking.
speaking of
You okay
leveling,
over there?
speaking of leveling new alts, yeah, I have a meta challenge to myself now. I want to fully level a max alt for every single class that there is, because I don't. And I feel like that's a great way to get your money out of this game, because then it's like you play every class. That's not to say every spec, right? Because there's 3 specs per class. But I want to see if I can get one character of every class up to whatever max level is now.
60.
So I guess it's 60, right? So
I'm only missing 2.
let's talk about that. So we get now the leveling.
You too?
Yeah.
What? Oh,
Which
you
two?
And priest.
Me, shaman, and rogue.
Really?
Rogue was more fun than I thought it would be.
Rogue
I
is
played
fun.
Rogue back in Burning Crusade, and I did not like it.
I don't know why I don't like the rogue.
Rogues are.
I don't know why I didn't either, but I actually really like it now.
I enjoy Rogue. Stealthing is fun.
Yeah.
Stealthing through mechanics is fun.
That was never my thing in like any game. Being stealthy, I just didn't want to do it. Even in Metal Gear Solid, which I love Metal Gear Solid, but I still would rather just.
The whole game is stealth.
I know, but like, and I love that game, but I still like
just blasting
that's why
people.
I never played it. Like, I didn't play it until it came out for like. Do you remember PS2 had Greatest Hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played those
games
games
Metal
until
Gear
they were in
Solid
the
on
Greatest
there.
Hits bin, and then I was like, I'll check it out, and I really liked it. But because I knew it was stealth, I was like, not for me. But I really like Rogue.
Still one of my favorites of all time. But the stealth was like dope in that game. But yeah, no, stealth as a rogue. Obviously, this is not Metal Gear stealth, right? You're not. Right. You can't turn into a box. It's still pretty fun. Michelle, when we were raiding last, I had a rogue at the time. That was fun to play. But Despresso. But that was all of my complaints of looking at a boss's crotch come from him, because like you're just a rogue and you're all up in there. But
I have one. I have a shaman and a rogue that are like 80 or something.
Oh, you know what?
They're just not max level.
Lock boxes. Freaking love them for lock boxes.
That's the only reason.
Oh, wait a minute.
Rogue initially.
I love me some lock boxes.
Mechanome.
Oh, they have a. Oh, they have an
They can do that.
Mechanome. You don't need a rogue anymore.
Oh,
that's
awesome. The Mechanome's hands. Their hands.
Into, like the crafting tools and stuff.
It does everything.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool. It does everything.
I didn't know it did lock boxes.
So your lockbox, it actually levels when you level. So you obviously can't when you start one. You can't automatically open but yeah, you can unlock boxes now, so you don't need the rogue.
Do you know if for engineering will it turn into an arclight spanner, or do you still need to make or buy an arclight spanner for engineering?
I don't know. I'd have to check. Because it does say,
which is funny.
Yeah, we were. it does say that their hands are basically have tools. Every single tool that you would need for every single profession, including
anvil too.
Cooking.
Yeah, cooking.
You can, everything.
Oh, that is such a cool. Okay, see, that's a great design, Rachel.
Cool.
That's amazing. It doesn't break the game, but holy crap, does it make just that little bit of more incentive to play that race? That's how Rachel should be. That's so well done. Now I just need to. Now I don't need a.
Now you just need it. Yeah.
All right, so I'm up now. Let's see. So you guys have 2 races to complete your full roster. Full roster achievement. I have 10 on this account.
Oh wait,
in order to do it.
Right.
I don't have every race.
Oh no, not race.
Every class.
Every class.
Okay.
Every class.
Yeah.
And
I don't have Draenei. I don't like Draenei.
By the way, and worth bringing up, so during the pre-patch, the level squish is happening. I still have a level 110 character boost and a level 100 character boost still.
Oh, you didn't use them?
No, I didn't use it. So those are getting converted to the level 1, or is it 120? Whatever the max is. The max boost is going to be changed once the pre-patch hits to a level 50. So it's like you just apply it and then boom, your character's level 50. I found this interesting. The level 100 boost that I still have from the previous expansion, that gets your character up to level 48. There's only 2 levels of difference between the.
Oh,
Isn't that
really?
weird? Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe like the time spent is the same as the 10 levels that it would be in this current setup and system timeline, but apparently it's worth 2 levels in the new system. So
Do you guys enjoy leveling at all,
yes.
or is it just a grind for you?
No. Well.
And do you think that if you enjoy leveling, it may be specific to what class you're leveling?
Right. Yes.
I have that feeling because like I typically I don't like leveling. It's just something I have to do in order to like play the rest of the game.
Yes.
But when I was
that.
leveling my paladin, I actually really enjoyed it, and I think that makes me think maybe it's because I like playing paladin. So maybe if you like your class, you would enjoy it more. Maybe that's just an obvious thing that I just now realized.
No, it's not. And I think it's worth talking about. Yes, to answer your question, I do like leveling. I haven't liked leveling, though, in the last couple of years playing this game because of what we talked about. The leveling experience is completely disjointed. And it needed this refreshment to kind of like get everything back in line. And I think I'm going to really, really enjoy leveling after this now because it's the whole... you have to play through a story. That's key.
Yeah.
That's key to the leveling experience is playing through a story and seeing how things developed. In vanilla, it was fun for me. That was playing vanilla, like when leveling was an actual, that was literally half the game. Like half your game time is going to be spent level because getting to 60 was a chore. It took no boost. There's no nothing. It's all just going.
My classic guy is still stuck at 52.
Yeah. And he will always be at 52.
November. Yeah.
But with that said, like that was half the game, and the experience was fun doing that. But again, a lot of that was grounded in a storyline of where you fit into this world of Warcraft, right? Like of what's going on. Now because that was taken away, and it's just like exactly what you said. Now it's just like it's the work that you have to put in before you can start playing a game. One, that's terrible game design. You don't want like if I was running a game, that's not how I'd want people to play it. It's like you should be able to have fun right when
like
you start a character.
Real life where like, oh, you have to go to college before you can get a real job.
We want immediate gratification.
I want to escape.
Like, I want to escape.
Real life.
Here, take my money and let me feel cool and fun. Not like, well, you gotta do this for 2 weeks first, and then you could really play the game, right? That's weird. That's a weird, and I don't like that as like a business model either. That's a messed up thing to feel like you have to catch up to everybody. But with this new leveling experience, I'm super excited because now is because I was thinking is like, man, I only have like a few short weeks to play an alt now through this new leveling system. And then Shadowlands is releasing. I'm right back on my main and trying to play through Shadowlands, and then your alt falls by the wayside. At least now I can kind of like go through the systems. I can play through Mists of Pandaria again, the entire Mists of Pandaria, and things making sense, and then also play through. Oh, you know what I want to play through? Okay, so as I've been leveling my hunter through Warlords of Draenor specifically, so I could talk about it on the show. It's like a bad season to a show that you like a lot. Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
yes,
like
I never played WoD when it was like the new expansion.
Man,
I know what you're talking about.
It's like the show that you love got a bigger budget. They could afford like more stuff and cooler special effects, but damn, did they skimp out on the writing? Like it's just so.
I'm trying to think of a show that
like Dexter. I feel like Dexter I used to like, and then it made a bad. Well, then the show just.
And I don't like their dungeons.
No, I don't like their dungeons.
Like, they're weird
either.
But
they're like,
there's some, but like a show that you like. There's still some good stuff in there. Like the look of it, for me, the look of WoD is very distinct. It's very colorful. Like it pops a lot. And it has a certain.
That's when they did like the graphics overhaul too, wasn't it?
Yes.
They
did new models. They did it was like a huge overhaul of like the engine, I believe. It was like new models. Everything was spruced up. With that said, it's like, holy crap, they made everything so colorful that you're just like, I can't like everything is like blurring together. Also, there's like a million mobs every 2 feet.
Yeah.
Holy crap. They wanted you to fight in that game. And like every inch of that game has mobs spawning like crazy.
Faster leveling?
I guess so. maybe. But I do like it. I'd like it to. I'm not going to play that through that expansion like with an alt. I am going to do it just to take it through it again, but I don't want to play it for the story. But I do really like some of the things that they did in that game because it's pretty fun. Like there's some aspects are fun, like just kind of like the world quests that are going around that are like where you just come into an area and there's a bunch of stuff that you gotta go kill. I like those little features.
I like the world quests. Yeah.
I also like that in so I'm taking my guy through Gorgon. Is like they do a lot of stuff like there's stuff happening in the background, right? Like there's fights and like things that are happening like off in the distance. Like there's activities going elsewhere. I like those little details. It's just like when you're playing it through the first time and you're just like wanting to get through and get to the end game, it's like you don't really, again, kind of like Legacy Rage, you don't really pay attention. Now that I've been paying attention, I've been more appreciating.
I really like Legacy stuff.
I do too.
I like, I don't know, I like one-shotting everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
love it. The power. Speaking of, we
got 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh, yay. Well, that means we're just going to have 2 splices. But yeah, so leveling new alts. So I want to go and try to level an alt for every single class, not before Shadowlands, just as a meta goal for me. Just I think it's going to be fun. But now with Shadowlands, with that new experience in the pre-patch, I think it's going to be way funner to do it. You're going to get to know your characters.
More fun.
Yeah, more funner. More
funner.
More better.
Funner, betterer than it is currently. I think that, let's see. What do you guys think of this? Because I want to use my boosts, but I
don't use it on a race that you're going to want the heritage armor for.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, don't.
That disqualifies you.
That. I was like, I better not do it. And then the next day I made a Tauren warrior just because I like that they're so big and then they use all the weapons and stuff. And then I was like, now I can't get the heritage armor.
But it doesn't lock you out forever from it. You just have to roll another.
No, it's just now you have to. It's like, how the hell did I do this?
Yes, I see what you mean. But I'm feeling that way about my paladin because he's just a regular Draenei, and I was like, man, I really want a Lightforged Draenei. But I was thinking, like, what if I boost the character and then just
their heritage armor?
Hey, it's like swapping an actor mid-season on a show.
Like
it's Aunt Vivian. Like she's exactly the same as she's always been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking of swapping my main guy for a Lightforged just because I like the aesthetic a lot better. They just look cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other meta goals you guys setting for yourself? Achievement mounts. I'm still going to continue on achievement mounts.
Right.
We just got the corrupted egg of Miligazor. I think all 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For the Glory to the Firelands Raider. That was fun.
Yeah. To me it's really random that it's purple. I wonder how do they get, like, I don't know. Like when they're reshading, like I don't have a problem with like reshades, but like how do they decide what color? Especially for that one, because it's Firelands, and I get that they already have like the
they already have a fire.
No, I know.
A similar amount.
But how did they decide purple? They're like, okay, we can't do like the red fiery one.
Yeah, there are a lot of colors.
There's a green one. Where's the green one drop?
That's the one for.
I feel like there's a. Well, see, now that you mentioned that, Hedge, I feel like there is a plethora of purple mounts.
Yes.
Like think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And I think the purple mounts are all achievement mostly.
Are they?
I think.
Ooh.
Because so I have my Violet Drake. I have the Violet Drake. That's the achievement where you have to kill all 3. Do you remember that one? Yeah. The 3 dragons at once.
Obsidian Sanctum.
Yeah, Obsidian Sanctum. Yeah, and that's purple. Then you have the Violet. Which one? The time.
Purple Drake. Yeah, Proto Drake.
Time lost Proto Drake.
The Violet Purple Drake.
the Purple Drake.
Purpley purple Drake.
Which Purple Drake do you have?
But I want to say most of them are like achievement ones. I think.
Hey, let's do it. Hey, there you go. Let's science this out. Let's go on.
We should check. I don't know.
See what you got. Let's see what percent. You guys have more mounts than I do, and see how many of them.
Ooh, we should have a mount off.
Mount off.
I was thinking about that, but I know I would lose. Like
I'm gonna lose. I got like 5 mounts on my guy.
I have like almost 400, but a lot of them.
Great.
But
that's crazy.
As far as the rare ones, obviously I have ones where I just bought every single color.
Yeah.
The amount.
Yeah.
But then also there are the rare ones. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to pad your numbers with the ones that you buy, especially since they're all racial mounts are super cheap. Remember they used to be like 100 gold?
Yes, I buy every single one.
Now they're like all 10 gold.
2 gold.
Like, then you have to buy it. that's just stupid not to. Oh yeah, I finally bought my Gronling.
Oh, nice.
I'm so happy.
The-
And it
the
made
yak
me
one?
think, how amazing would it be if your mounts could attack something?
That would be cool.
When you're still on it, yeah.
Badass. Oh, why haven't they done that already? Like, I don't know how you would incorporate it, but like, just maybe like, if you're riding through and you get, say, attacked by a regular mob, you can do a basic attack while you're mounted,
Yes.
right? Like it doesn't hurt
Or
that
like,
much, but it's like,
if you're flying through like a PvP area and you're flagged, right?
Mhm.
And they're just shooting at you from below, you should have like some sort of thing where you can have them attack
right.
while you're flying away. Because that
Yeah.
happens to me a lot when I'm trying to level. It's annoying.
Yeah, no, it happens all the time. It's just like, I wish I could just attack. Like maybe it's a low level mob that's attacking me. Like I would love if my mount had an attack animation of
Less
just doing
than
a regular
1
attack
minute.
and then it kills it, and then you could just continue on doing what you're doing, kind of thing, right? It doesn't have to be OP thing. It doesn't have to be something that's imbalanced or anything like that. It's just like a special feature where you could attack, where your mount can attack. But the fun part would be like, it would make collecting mounts even more awesome. It's like, oh, did you see the attack animation on this
that would
thing?
be cool.
Like, that'd be so sick. So, guys, any final thoughts on what you guys want to do prior to the actual Shadowlands expansion release in the in-between time? Besides leveling alts, because I'm leveling a ton of alts.
Achievements.
Ooh, one achievement I want to get. I doubt I'll be able to, but you get a mount for completing Nyalotha on Mythic difficulty.
Oh yeah.
Like again, purple dragon.
Yeah, see, purple.
But that's going to be
Purple.
removed after the.
Yes.
I don't know if it's after pre-patch or after the expansion.
We shall find out. Hey, I got an assignment for you guys. Actually, there are 12 classes total in the game thus far. There are 4 covenants. For next week's episode, divide
a roster.
Yeah, make a roster of which 3 would go into which covenants and why. And we're gonna have a fierce argument that's gonna somehow degenerate into racial name calling and and vitriol and talking things about each other's moms. So I did want to say this. I'm actually, so another thought as we wrap up this episode was I'm kind of happy that there's also this delay to whenever, because holy crap, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out as well at the same time, right? Wait, don't tell me that got delayed again. I don't think it did. I think it's no. They're going through crunch right now, which is kind of controversial because I know this is other game non-WoW related, but it is a little bit controversial because this company was very much anti-crunch, and now unfortunately, in order to get their product out, they got to do crunch. So it's like a weird having to reverse their decision before. And for those who don't know, crunch is basically all the developers are on
tech crunch.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's just like they have to work long hours. It's just a nonstop. Michelle, you worked for tech companies before, right?
I still do.
You still work for tech companies. Do any tech companies that you have to work for go through crunch at all? Or are they not in that space? If they're not, then good for them. Because from what I hear, it sounds torturous.
What does that mean?
You just are coding for 24 hours a day for 3 days straight just to get the product out because there's just so much to do. Just imagine if
Yes, I was. They had it's internet security.
There we go. Yeah. So anytime like they have like a product they need to roll out, or they have like a crucial update or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Especially the big corporate companies, right? I hope that especially with Shadowlands, that they don't have to do crunch, but I imagine they would just because the game is so huge. But yeah, things like it's just like basically adverse working conditions, and it sucks for a lot of people. And it's one of the things that in general, a lot of people who work in those industries, especially gaming industries, if they have to, one of the things that's expected to just have to do is spend these long hours across several weeks before a product launches, just like basically killing yourself to make sure the product is right. And so there's a lot of ethical questions around that, especially for companies that are just trying to make a deadline, right? Like they're just trying to make, it needs to be released by the first quarter, which we see now more and more happening as video game companies become these bigger corporations.
Big giants, yeah.
Exactly. Which we absolutely have to talk about. But with that said, Shadowlands is getting pushed out. There's now more time. I'm going to probably be taking less time in the game, even though I'm going to be leveling all. I play a lot of different video games outside of it, but I'm super happy at least I get some breathing room between Cyberpunk, which, by the way, made by the same studio that developed The Witcher.
Yeah.
And you see a pattern here. Yeah. And so I was going to ask you guys, what are you playing outside of World of Warcraft now to fill your time? Because we are casual World of Warcraft players. We don't, as much time as we do spend in Azeroth, we like to also spend some time in other places because that's how we roll. Because we don't just play World of Warcraft. But yeah, are you guys playing anything currently right now?
I'm playing Fortnite, and Animal Crossing because it's Halloween, so you have to log on every single day to buy your one piece of candy.
Oh, that's right. Can you visit other people's islands and buy candy from their nooks?
I don't know yet.
When was the last time you visited someone? Remember we were all
It's been a while.
Dude.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When pandemic happened, we were
I have shooting stars tonight. So I might open up my island. Yeah, so Celeste will be there.
I haven't had a meteor shower on my island for
if you want, I haven't been
meteor showered in so long.
I know. I will probably, I most likely will be on if you want to stop by for a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, now it makes me want to check to see if what would happen if it's like what are the chances that both of our meteor shower days are on the same day? Like
that would be funny.
That would be funny.
Oh, I felt like at one point you and I were kind of on the same schedule.
Had a weird like the random events
we were in sync.
Kept happening at the same times for us. Anyways, this is your Animal Crossing weekly podcast. Crossing animals. What would we call it if we had an Animal Crossing podcast?
Crossing animals. That would be funny.
Nick's
corner.
Let's see, Animals Crossing. I gotta think about this. We gotta snappy names.
Yeah. And I mentioned it earlier that I have a friend who is playing Counter-Strike Go right now, and they need a fifth. So
you're gonna go back into Counter-Strike?
Maybe.
Oh. You're gonna get that kitchen talk.
I might stream it. I might stream it. So we'll see.
Oh boy. Well, let us know. I am curious. You got to let us know. This is definitely a platform to tell us about your experiences because Hedge and I happen to be dudes, and honestly, and as I get older, I play less and less multiplayer stuff because I just
want to be left alone.
Yeah, I want to be left alone. I don't want to be. I don't want to be crap talked to by some teenager. It's just I don't have the strength.
Yeah.
But with that said, Hedge, are you playing anything else right now? How's your island looking? I know you're huge.
Do you have Animal Crossing?
No.
Never played it.
Oh.
Never played the first one.
What? You gotta add me.
Hey, let me ask you. Do you have a Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
I didn't know you did that.
I do. I like it. I just haven't played it that much. Honestly, I'm not really playing anything. I'm so
into WoW
in World of Warcraft.
Yep.
But if I play anything else, I'll probably play. I'm trying to go back and play all the Halo games and get a higher difficulty. I probably won't be able to do it on Legendary.
Hold on a second. Did they re-release the Halo game? Okay, so
yeah, they had the Master Chief Collection. I really like it. Apparently, it got a lot of crap, but I think it's pretty cool.
Growing up, I feel like I had a choice between PlayStation and Microsoft, right?
Yeah,
it was one or the other. Some of those rich kids got both. I don't wonder what that was like.
I had all of them.
Wonder what that was like.
Me and my older brother would save our money and
get. Did you too? I had every single console.
I had to pick a line, so I picked PlayStation during those times. So Halo never, and then at the time too, it's like I never had. I think I was outgrowing the part where I was just going over to friends' houses and playing video games. Then I was more spending time on the internet playing multiplayer games. Then you go do the co-op thing at somebody's house, which by the way,
I was a PlayStation guy too.
I will tell you guys out there
later on
as a seasoned, wise gamer, and that's what we are. Because I'm not an expert in anything. I am an expert in being a video game player. I will say that much. Man, it doesn't beat regular multiplayer. Playing a game next to somebody. There's nothing funner than that. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you contradict my opinion?
I mean, I'm like a whole other, I went to LAN tournaments and played amongst other players. Like I've
Right.
done that, so I have a different experience than you do, right?
Oh
so,
no, I was thinking more. Yes, but I was thinking more like with people that you
in
love.
game. Yeah.
It's like,
No, I know.
Not really.
But no, I know. But what I mean is like, I think my path was different than yours.
I would see that. You know, I will say this
Um,
much, and and it will reinforce my opinion still. As like I got to go to BlizzCon one year. This was and
Oh
I was,
yes, you got me a dog.
I did. I got your dog. I went to BlizzCon one year. It was super lucky to get the tickets. Like it was just like a hookup of a hookup of a hookup kind of thing. But I was playing. We were playing the new before it was launched, the new expansion for which I think was Gadgetzan for Hearthstone, and I was super into Hearthstone at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, and so it's like they'd have the two monitors like opposite each other, so you're playing the person across from you, just like whatever deck, and we were playing. And even then, like it's so funny about Hearthstone. If you've never played, there's very minimal interaction that you can do, right? It's
I
like,
know. I kind of.
there's only emotes. You can't talk to the other person. You can't really do this. But man, people have found ways to grief each other, even with just limited amounts of interaction, to annoy the hell out of the other person.
You know what
like,
people would do is they would add me.
oh yeah, just to
And
talk
then
crap to you.
I'm so dumb
Mm-hmm.
that like I'll accept it, and then they'll say some crap, and then remove me from their friends list.
So you can't say anything back.
Yeah, I can't even respond. I'm like, they're saying all this stuff, and then I'm about to say something, and then it's like, oh well, you can't message this person because
they blocked you.
What an ass.
It's so hilarious. And like so not that this is just because we're talking about
I still play Hearthstone.
I used to get, when I was heavily playing the Hearthstone, I would get like messages all the time after particularly like tight matches, or like ones that I steamrolled somebody or whatever, right? We know what those are. And like I maybe ignore literally 99% of them. And I remember, and I think there's only been 4 occasions out of literally dozens of these that I've actually accepted, just because I felt like maybe they had something like more to say. No, they're all just shit talking.
What would they say to you? Like, what? How do you shit talk someone in a card game?
Yeah, you're playing. Well, they're just saying they're playing.
Oh,
you're playing a cheap deck. Like, oh yeah, that was bullshit. That you totally got lucky on that RNG and blah blah blah. Like you play a better. Like if you're a better player, you'd play a different.
Wow.
It's just people being mad. People don't like, and this is what I'm saying. Okay, getting back to my story, I steamrolled this guy a couple of times on our face-to-face matches, like here, right? We were just laughing about it because it was just fun. It was just funny because they were new cards. We were just excited to be there. I was just like, he was like, oh, I totally blew, like when he made, he's like, oh dude, you're gonna cream me. He's like, I totally blew that. I read that card wrong, because these are the new cards and we didn't know by heart what they were. So it's like, if you didn't read the text close enough, you didn't know what they did. But the point I'm trying to make is that face-to-face interaction, even though like I was just like handing him his ass every single time, like in a complete, and it wasn't like personal because I didn't build a deck. These are pre-done decks already. That had to do it well. But the fact that we're just looking at each other and playing, it didn't matter that he was winning or losing or anything like that. We're just having a good time. And it's that like person to person, because people are less likely to be an asshole to you when you're in front of their face. You know what I mean? But who knows how things work out. But for the most part, for video games, and that's just kind of how it is. So I will advocate for, if you can play next to a person, a human being, your friends. But then again, also, I come from a generation where my brothers would mercilessly beat me at video games, not even try to let me, and I've cried so many times.
That's where Eris is at right now.
Yeah, dude, I think that's a rite of passage. But
you know what, you are to kind of piggyback on what you just said. You were correct when you are in person and you're playing against somebody like face to face. That whole environment changes because you now see this person and you're not just behind your computer screen. Because in one of the tournaments I played, I clutched around and we won. I want to say we won that game. Like we won the whole game. And the guy was right across from me. His teammates were like, "Ooh, you just lost to a girl." And normally, like in game, you would hear like, "Oh, F you," and this and that. You're same thing. Go back to the kitchen.
Of course,
whatever.
It escalates. Of course.
But no, this person just kind of laughed at it and stood up and said, "Nice shot," and then walked away. You know. It's because we're in person.
Isn't that
You're
funny?
not hiding.
Isn't that funny how people behave when they're just around each other? And
Yeah.
when you don't have to hide behind a screen and a screen name and anonymity, like people actually treat each other similarly. They might have been talking crap about you afterwards, more than likely, because you're competitors, and that's what you do.
Yeah,
that's the game. But person to person, it just made for a more fun experience to play in person. Wow, I got way off topic. So Halo,
but yeah, that and Doom Eternal, pretty much. That's
Doom Eternal. I think I'm gonna get
so good.
Yeah, because I have the laptop.
I mean, and like the last Doom was really good, but it makes that one look like shit because of how good it is. Like, and that was a great game.
Yeah, Doom. I like the first Doom. I like playing through it. There's some. It's my aesthetic is never full blown death metal heavy.
No, I know.
Bar riffing, right? But holy crap, there's no other way to experience Doom other than it's part of it. It makes it so it's like that vibe that like it's like I want to murder every demon that comes across my path.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. Kind of like it's kind of like that guy in Mad Max just jamming out on his electric guitar, and he's that's exactly the feeling of it. It's like nonstop. All right, we gotta go kill some dudes. I don't care about the lore, so I keep hearing things about Doom Eternal too. Like there's really I follow some other podcasts. There's a guy
hard. It's super hard, but it's really fun. It's not the hard where you're like, God damn it, and you like throw the controller. It's just hard. It's hard, but it makes you want to keep playing. It's weird.
That's exactly not horrific visions of Stormwind hard, but
no, it's not like
Five Mask.
Yes, defeating. 5 Mask hard. It's not defeating hard or frustrating hard. It's actually
it's like a motivating kind of hard.
That's
in a weird way.
Those are the best things. So, anyways, guys. As far as my play, I'm playing right now. First of all, I love my Switch. As a parent who's tired all the time, I love my Switch. To play reclined in a reclined position generally means I have a few moments to myself and it's quiet, and that's the whole package of playing with the Switch. But right now I've been playing a ton of Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a game that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, probably 2 years now, I think of this. It's a game that I never thought that I would like because it's kind of Minecrafty, but it's not at all. And it's just, you just build. I wish Animal Crossing had like aspects of this game in there. But you play a character, it has RPG elements. You're what's called a builder, right? In a world that forgot how the people don't know how to build anymore. And so you're kind of coming around and like you're able to manipulate the environment and like build them homes and houses and fields. So it's like, what's cool is that you can make all sorts of different types of rooms, and you add different items to it, and it makes it a different kind of room. Like, oh, now it's a blacksmith's room. Oh, now it's an armorsmith's room because it's a blacksmith combined with this armor set. And it's, I know that doesn't sound that fun, but it's fun.
I saw you playing last night.
Yes, so I started playing again. I just basically started a whole new campaign with that. I think I'm in this weird phase of my life where I like building stuff. So Animal Crossing appeals to me to a certain degree, although I gotta be honest with you, Michelle, like it's fallen off a lot in terms of interest because it's gotten to a point where it's just like I'm just doing chores now. Like it's not.
No, you're right. It definitely, I feel that way too. But then I love Halloween. Like Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. So
and then Halloween's coming up in World of Warcraft too. We got
an
all
Overwatch
that going on.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna try for the? Are they still doing the Headless Horseman?
Yes. I did have that mount on my old account. Alas.
It's one of my favorite ones. It's the one I use mostly. Is that one?
All right. Anyways, guys, that'll be today's episode. Thanks again for joining us. Michelle, is there anywhere that people can find you if they want?
Michelle Vera 23.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
Twitch.
I'm going to one of those alts I'm gonna level. I'm gonna do that entirely through streaming, like 100%.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna see if I can get
the new leveling system, right?
Like don't touch it outside of streaming at all. Just want to see. I don't think anybody's gonna follow or care, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
So when I do stream, sometimes we play like Jackbox games. I know it's not World of Warcraft, but if you guys are ever interested, like people actually play with us, and it's pretty fun.
You know, like random. That's really fun. What you introduced me to that was really fun was the Luigi's Mansion multiplayer. I really
Are you playing it now?
I play that a little bit more.
Dude,
often.
that game,
Also, Mario 35. I played a little bit of that. I won.
I saw you won, right?
Yeah, I was
so
proud of myself.
I saw that. I was like, I told him about that game.
Yep. No big deal. Just won. Still haven't won in Fall Guys yet. that one's eluding me. Fall Guys is hard if you guys have played that.
We've talked about it, but
I have no
it's
interest.
only PlayStation, right?
PlayStation, you can get
And
on PC
Xbox?
as well. Yeah,
It's on PlayStation?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
free on PlayStation if you have the PSN network. That's why I got it. I think I'll play it.
Mm.
Yeah, Hedge, is there anywhere that people could find you if they want to, or just tune into the show?
Nope, just here.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, I probably I'll have more information once I get this all, because these are all like projects in my head that I have to set aside time for. But I definitely want to have a streaming project on my Twitch channel, which is Ramen Piledriver. That's ramen like the noodles, RAMEN_piledriver, like when you get dropped on your head in wrestling. But you can find me there. I'm going to try to get a stream going on a more regular and consistent basis. But yeah, in the meantime, tune in for our next episode. So just so you guys know, for the listener, we record these now on Sunday mornings. We were trying to do Thursday nights, but those weren't working out for us logistically. Sunday mornings seem to be a better thing. So we try to get these episodes out within 24 hours or so once we clean them up a bit. So yeah, you can expect a new weekly episode on a more regular basis, probably Sunday night, more likely on Monday more than anything. So you can follow us there. But like I said at the top of the show, please, if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Write into resubbedpodcast@gmail.com. That's resubbedpodcast@gmail.com. Trust me, I will be reading all of them and responding. Well, somehow in some form. If they're nice. If they're nice, please keep them.
They're nice.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, yeah, that's it for podcast. Thanks. Have a great week in Azeroth, guys.
Bye.
Wow.